Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's one-shot of Encephalon Gorgers on the Moon. Okay, now they are all like some bastardized version of Swedish, I think. Bork, 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 bork. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. I know we had to put this off once already, but I'm glad that you could all hop on today and get some D&D played. Why don't we do a round of introductions? Let's start with Joe.
Hi, I'm Joe, pronouns he, him, and I am playing Matilda Greymore, a Circle of the Moon druid.
Nice. Who do you want to popcorn it over to?
Let's do Carly.
All right. Hi, I'm Carly, and I am playing Rooney, the little chaotic kobold runechild sorcerer.
Excellent, excellent. Who you tossing it to?
Let's toss it to Tim.
I'm Tim. I'm playing Joven, a soft-spoken furball granger who is wearing leaves both as clothing and as stuck-on accessories.
We're not really sure where the line
It's blurred.
begins.
It's
Right.
a very blurred line. Yeah.
Excellent. And last but not least, Wheezy, why don't you tell us about yourself?
I'm playing Welkin, the Welkin Mold Creek, the rogue. He is a Lightfoot. He is not soft-spoken.
Excellent. We'll see how this group dynamic works out. Real quick before we get into things, I just want to do some shout outs. One, our music today is going to be by a couple of places instead of the usual one or the other. Oh, hi. You're like right there. I just booped you in the nose. Sorry. Tabletop Audio and Epidemic Sound are the sound providers for today. Also, we're going to have maps not only from the module Encephalon Gorgers on the Moon, which is by Frog God Games, but also from Tom Kartos, Angela Maps, and Cyclopean Compact. And our minis were made with Hero Forge. I think, oh, there was a pup retreat redeemed. That's why you came over. You knew. All right, so as we begin, there you go. As we begin today's adventure, it should be known that you're all a group of friends who have been adventuring for a while. Now, Jovan, you were probably the first adventuring, but you were kind of traveling around in a completely different dimension. You were a member, or you were born in the Feywild, and you managed to find your way to the prime material through a gate, and shortly thereafter you met Rooney, a small kobold that has a penchant for magic. The two of you traveled for a bit of time, did some adventuring with both as a duo and with some other folks, before you ended up coming to a town known as Lunar Hollow. Now, in Lunar Hollow, there was another duo that was made up of Welkin and Matilda, a halfling rogue and a human druid that had grown up together, and Matilda kind of had a desire to see the world, to get out of the town, to live a larger life than what one might find in a job per se. And so the life of adventure called to you both, and you had kind of done some things around town, killed off some rats for people, and maybe fought some local monsters and such. But when Jovan and Rooney came through, you decided to join them and go out and see the world at large. And since then, you've done some. We were discussing this earlier, some fairly successful things along your way. As an adventuring group, you so far haven't really had anything that's really been all that complicated or given you that much of an issue. And so looking for something maybe a little more complicated, maybe to really test your skills, you were asking around and you heard of a place called the Night Forest. Now, the Night Forest is so called because apparently the trees are so thick there that sunlight, even in the middle of day, doesn't touch the ground of the forest. And so a variety of creatures that are both friendly or we'll call them unfriendly, have taken up residence in the forest. And so you headed that direction. You found the local inn, which is called the Hurry Inn, owned by a couple of previous hunters in the area that wanted to set up a place for people to have shelter when they're adventuring throughout the forest. And you asked around for work. You were looking for something to do, and it seems like recently hunters or adventurers have kind of cleared the place out. There haven't been a lot of things to do. And so the last few days, I think we agreed on 5, you've been just kind of hanging out at the inn, and as your funds waned, Matilda has been working as a bartender for the Hurry Inn in order to pay for your room and board. So it is evening. You can tell because there is a patch of sky that appears above the Hurry Inn, and a little bit of dusk light is settling down into that clearing. We find that Jovan is sitting over on a bridge, quite a ways from the inn, but there are some other buildings around, and you can see the inn from where you are. You're sitting on the bridge casting your fishing line. Some people are strolling over the bridge, locals that you know, or have come to at least know by sight, if not by name. What does Jovan do?
Jovan is, as you said, sitting on the bridge. He's got his fishing pole out. He's got a good berry on the hook, trying to hook a hungry fish. And even though he's fishing and sort of posed as though he's relaxed, this is a forest, and he is at home in the forest, so his senses are heightened, and he is actively kind of sensing everything around him. So the people who are walking over, he like measures their footsteps, and that was them going by.
Right. It's that one local kid that has the really fast broom.
Yep.
Oh, definitely.
But yeah, he's chilling out, but underneath the surface, he's like a spring-loaded trap ready to go.
Okay. Do you want to try and catch a fish? Do you want to call this a sleight of hand check or an animal handling check?
Well, they're both the same. Can I do survival?
Sure, that also would work.
All right. That's a 16.
Awesome. As you cast your line and you're trying to get the fish, you can see fish, swimming by. Some of them are doing the I can't think of what it's called. So essentially, they're like kind of going over to the side, and like you could see bugs that are like flying over the top of the water, and they're just kind of like hovering under the water, and they'll jump up and grab some, and you're like getting a little frustrated because you're like, there's a good berry right there. And as you're watching them, a fairly decent sized fish, about the length of your forearm, grabs the good berry and hook. Do an athletics check or an acrobatics.
Got this, Jovan.
Oh yeah, that's a 19.
Nice. You hook it very easily, reel it in. Very shiny rainbow trout. What do you do with it?
Oh, well, I've got my fish. I'm going to stand up and start walking toward the inn. No, he's not about to make the inn smell like fish. He's going to go to one. He's going to go to the edge of the bridge, and he is going to kind of walk up to the edge of the river and just gut it and clean it there.
Okay.
Before bringing the meat back.
Okay. All right. So as you gut your fish and prep it for cooking tonight, we will shift into the inn, where we find Matilda busily trying to dodge people. There are various customers that you've come to know by name and face. Some of them have like obvious, regular orders that they get. You don't even need to ask what they want when they come in. Like you're on the ball with this stuff. And behind the bar, you notice that Gertrude, who's a fairly stout woman, that was once a hunter, and you can see it. She still has the build, whereas her partner in the business, who was also a hunter, has kind of let himself go. He's certainly not the adventuring build that one would expect, as he is kind of like scraping some grease off of the top of a griddle and flipping some various meats on it. Gertrude eyes you, Matilda, and points at some drinks that are ready on the counter.
Matilda will go and grab them. Okay, we have 4 ales, 2 beers, 1 mead, and a side of fried onion.
Oh, is that the lavender mead?
Yes, it's the lavender
Okay,
mead.
that's over here.
On it. Okay, on it.
As Matilda is deftly moving through the crowd, we find a kobold and a halfling. What are they doing? I don't know what they're doing. We didn't talk about that.
Bruni is currently standing on the chair and has a normal sized pint of ale, which just looks massive in their hands, and is currently just chugging it.
Comes in pints?
And it's just dribbling down his front.
Having
just chugging it.
I don't want to just derail here, but it is a good point that having dogs for my entire life and expecting kobolds to try and drink from normal shaped cups, it's not realistic. Someone in the fantasy world needs to go and make kobold shaped face person's cups. That's my story. Anyway, as you're chugging this drink, which is what exactly?
Oh, bottom of the barrel ale, the worst stuff you could drink.
Yeah, there's actually as the ends of it, as you're tipping it back, you can feel the debris, the residue and stuff that's kind of come up off the bottom of the barrel, hit your teeth, and you're kind of nearby. What is Welkin doing?
Welkin's sitting at the table next to Rudy, cheering them on and encouraging them to finish off that gross ale so he doesn't have to. He's trying to block the view so that other patrons don't see and get Matilda in trouble.
Perfect. Okay. So, as the three of you are doing your various things in here, the door opens and Joven walks in rather proudly with a pretty decent size fish that seems to be missing its head and has obviously been gutted and cleaned.
Yo, dinner.
Oh, thank goodness you're here, Joven. Oh, okay, yeah. Good. Send it back to the kitchen. Okay. Honestly, Rooney, Welkin, honestly, you two.
What?
I keep telling you guys, don't drink the bilge water. That is an ale. Honestly.
Kill them!
It's so good. It's so good. What are you talking about?
That's their third glass.
The fact that you're alive right now is a miracle. And I'm not a cleric. Okay?
It's fine. I can fix myself.
Honestly.
Don't puke on me. I don't care.
I feel like
Can I have another one?
I feel like the group is calling for a con save from Rooney. I feel like that's what's going on.
I mean, we can give me a con save.
Sure,
I'll take
sure.
a con save.
Do it. Do it.
14.
14. That's not bad. Yeah, you're definitely feeling the effects of whatever alcohol is in this, but you're fine. You're fine. This is you've definitely eaten worse in your time.
Yeah, this is great. I don't know what you're talking about. It's like so crystal clean and just amazing.
It's got the chewy bits. What are you talking about? So, as the night progresses, and you're all, are you sharing this trout, or is this a, okay?
Oh yeah, this is feasting. Yes.
All right. So the four of you sit down together. Matilda, you're on your break. As Gertrude is taking over the responsibilities. The other recent. The other bar person that works, or the other waiter didn't show up tonight, and so Gertrude was like, hey, if you could just kind of just eat quickly, that'd be the best. Thanks again. It's really great to have you here. I know it's only temporary, but hey, I appreciate it.
Been on the road for a bit, weirdly, I kind of did miss working this, even though there's something about a noisy tavern.
It is so comforting, right?
It is.
She just kind of smiles to herself as she goes back to work and picks up a large tray of ales and walks them over to a long table that has like what appears to be several other hunters that have also recently not been doing much as things have been quiet. But as things are progressing, you notice that the banter around the tables is different tonight. It's a little more hushed, a little more worried. And it's not long before you start noticing there is what appears to be a growing kerfuffle over kind of near the door.
I can detect thoughts.
Okay. And what do you do with that?
I just want to know what people are thinking. It's weird tonight. I mean, I could be drunk, but also it's just kind of weird tonight. So I just want to know what people are thinking. And then I probably accidentally speak in their mind too with my telepathy throughout the night. Like the drunker I get, the less I speak out loud.
Okay, fair enough. And that lasts for how long?
It just lasts for I think a minute.
Okay.
The spell, my telepathy is always
Gotcha.
detect thoughts lasts for a minute.
And you're just kind of scanning around for surface thoughts?
Yeah, initially.
Is there anyone in particular that's you're scanning first?
The kerfuffle.
The kerfuffle. Okay. So as you kind of turn your head and you're not really like paying that much attention to focusing, and so you just get like a bunch of random words as you're scanning that direction, like you turn your head that way. And first of all, I want to shout out for Raven, who just donated advantage for Wheezy when it comes to be that time. Thank you.
Raven already on it.
Right? Carly, Rooney notices that there are two people that are arguing. One of them is Gertrude, which is the lady who owns one of the people that owns the place. The other one is an older lady that you've seen around. You're not really sure what her name is, but they are arguing back and forth, and their voices are progressively getting louder. Are you going to read the thoughts of the older lady or Gertrude?
The older lady.
The older lady. So just surface thoughts. She is thinking that Gertrude doesn't know what she's talking about. She's inviting doom on this small village by allowing these cats to remain here. And how dare she? She's not even one of the original like founders of this settlement, whereas the older lady, her family has been here for at least one generation.
I hear cats and I immediately dive deeper.
Okay.
Cats are yummy.
So at this point she gets a wisdom save, is that right?
Yeah, it's a wisdom 16.
Let's head over and do a wisdom. That is an 18.
She feels me poking inelegantly at her brain.
She stops talking and like looks around the room.
Hi. That's in her head.
Who is that? You stop
What's this
that.
about cats? I like cats. Cats are yummy.
I like cats. Cats are yummy.
Question: is Rooney also saying it out loud while also being telepathic? Like saying it?
Maybe like every third word is out loud. All of it is in her
Cats.
brain, though.
Hey, cats. Delicious.
So, Matilda, you've noticed that Gertrude is arguing with a woman named Tabitha. You've been warned about Tabitha because she likes to come in and cause trouble. It's usually
Karen.
yeah,
Karen.
and it's usually like whatever is the recent thing that is going to be the doom to the village. And you can hear that Gertrude is yelling about how Tabitha had better not have hurt Mr. Pants, because apparently, now that you're listening, Tabitha is talking about how like the cats, there's something wrong with the cats, that they're the ones who are causing the issues in town. And now that you're hearing this, all of you can kind of notice that the conversations throughout the night have been a little disjointed, what you've been hearing as you've been kind of talking amongst yourselves. But yeah, there seems to be like maybe a growing sense of worry that there's something wrong in the forest. And apparently Tabitha thinks it's because of the cats. And Gertrude is very upset because she thinks maybe Tabitha did something to Mr. Pants, which is, Matilda, you would know this. Mr. Pants is like Gertrude's cat in the way that you don't really own cats. Cats like allow you
Pick
to...
you.
Right,
Cats
exactly.
pick you, yeah.
And apparently Mr. Pants has picked the Hurry Inn, at least for part of his time.
Have we seen Mr. Pants in a bit?
You have not. It has actually been, you remember seeing, now that you think about it, you remember seeing Mr. Pants yesterday, maybe the day before, but you don't remember seeing Mr. Pants today for sure.
I finish up my trout, and I wait until old Tabitha leaves, obviously off to reprimand another poor job for something that is out of her control, most likely. And like, Matilda will just be like, Gertrude, I couldn't help but overhear you being worried about Mr. Pants. My friends and I are willing to look for him, just make sure that he's okay,
Okay. So real quick before Tabitha leaves, because it does look like she's heading out, did anyone else want to do anything?
Welkin follows Tabitha.
Okay.
Unseen, without her knowledge.
So Welkin
Not
just
just
kind of slips out
Walking out the
quietly.
door like a bouncer. Yeah, he's sneaking up on her.
Perfect. Well,
Bye. You hear that in your brain.
do you
Visibly, he's like,
you do have a little bit of time before Tabitha leaves, or anything else? Is there anything else that you wanted to try to do with your detect thoughts, Rooney?
Yeah, I hear about cats from Gertrude. So I go into Gertrude's brain. And then I see, what does Mr. Pants look like?
She also looks around and is confused, and this is about the time that Matilda is walking up. Do you hear that?
Searching for that. Searching for what Mr. Pants looks like.
There's a voice in my head. It's asking about Mr. Pants.
Rooney!
What? That's in Gertrude's head.
Oh, it's so loud.
But I definitely,
it's so loud.
I definitely do. I definitely
Sorry,
do
it's Rooney. Honestly, I tell them, don't do that to people. And that they do that constantly. Honestly, it's like
I do it a lot, honestly.
herd a cat. It's like honestly
It's still in Gertrude's head.
like you have to understand. It's like herding a cat, and the cat is a 3'3" kobold.
Cats are yummy.
It is at this point that Welkin has decided to slip away.
Okay. And I will say that Gertrude certainly has a vision of what Mr. Pants looks like in her head. And whether she meant to give it to you or not, it's very much there as she's worrying about Mr. Pants. Mr. Pants is a fairly bright silver and white cat with some blackened ends on his ears and tails and feet, with bright, shockingly blue eyes.
Did I eat Mr. Pants?
Mr. Pants looks... Oh, did you eat Mr. Pants?
Yeah, did I eat
Swear to
Mr.
God,
Pants
Bernie.
yesterday?
You
Oh,
have not.
God.
You have not eaten Mr. Pants.
Okay.
In fact, you remember Mr. Pants seeing you a couple times and just immediately running away from you.
That's a smart cat.
He knew.
He's a smart cat. That cat's real smart. He runs every time.
So, Wheezy, why don't we do a stealth roll? I'm like, hide. Wait, what game are we playing?
Yeah, right.
I told you my guy was a lot.
I'm working on it, I swear to God.
No worries. 13. So, as you're following Tabitha, you notice that she's carrying a cane, which she uses to walk a couple of times, but she kind of uses it to swat things out of her way. So a dog comes up to her and she's just out of the way and swats it, and it yelps and runs away. She does not seem to notice you, however, as she heads towards her house.
Sneaking around the back of the house, peeping in the windows.
Peep in the windows. So you notice that...
Have I seen this cane before, by the way?
Roll any die for me. Tell me if you get odd or even.
Okay, anything? Alright, one sec. Even.
Even. You have not seen this cane before, but you've not really noticed Tabitha around. She seems to kind of be... In fact, as you're following her, she heads out of the main area that has houses and further north into the woods. You get the feeling she's not a social person so much as a hermit type person that lives off on her own.
Oh, did she stop at the house, or did she keep going through the woods?
Do you want to follow her all the way to the house?
Follow her all the way to the house.
Okay, so it is quite a ways into the forest that you end up going. The sounds of the tavern and the town folk behind you fade away. You've crossed over the bridge. You're heading north through the forest, and there's a kind of a game trail that leads up the mountain, which you know is called Midnight Mountain. And then she goes off that path and starts heading further in. You notice that there is somewhere to what she's walking on, like there's a somewhat of a path, but it's not traveled all that often, and comes to a small shack. Inside, you notice that there is the glow. It looks like her fireplace is probably going, that she left that burning when she came into town to yell at Gertrude, and she opens the rickety door and shuts it behind her. You look around. There are a couple of windows in the way that there are like window holes that have shutters on them, the swinging kind, as opposed to like glass windows. And you can hear her bustling around inside. It looks like the shutters are closed, but you could probably peer through them if you would like to try.
All right, we're rolling a sneak check.
Nat 20.
Nice. You easily find like an area. You kind of step up on a little crate and peer through the window. There's like a triangle where the two shutters lean against each other and create a peephole for you to stare in. She is moving around. Looks like she's starting to put together like some kind of stew as she mumbles to herself about cats and how they're the reasons that her goats were killed. I was going to name her goats and I forgot, so she just says her goats. And she's mumbling and everything, and it appears like you do notice that there are a couple of goat carcasses nearby that she's like been butchering, but make a perception check for me, actually. 14. Okay, so you notice that there are the goats and that they got something in their eye and they start screaming. Ah! Okay. It looks like something like bashed their skulls in or something. Now, you've never heard of a cat that has bashed the skull in of a goat, but apparently Tabitha believes that is the case.
Are there any more goats outside, or are 100% of her goats in pieces in her kitchen?
It looks like there's like a pen where there were probably livestock, but you don't see any other livestock. And
Can I look around for tracks around the pen?
Sure, why don't you do a survival check?
This? Survival. It'll be rich.
Awesome.
16.
So you look around and you do notice, so there are like the goat tracks. You can see that there are humanoid tracks probably. Actually, since you've been following her, you notice that they are Tabitha's tracks. You don't notice any other humanoid tracks. No one really comes out here. But there are some weird clawed tracks, and they do kind of resemble cat tracks, although they're a little larger, and there's definitely something about them that you're like, no, that is definitely not like a feline shape. And as you're looking at that, we're going to jump back to the conversation that Matilda is having with Gertrude. I feel like you were asking her a question.
Oh yeah, I was wondering, so yeah, Matilda will ask. Gertrude, you wouldn't happen to have anything of Mr. Pance's here? I could probably wild shape into something, sniff out his trail.
Oh, I mean, nothing that belongs to him, but he does like to lay in that milk crate that's in the back. I put like a small like rag. Well, really, it's a pile of rags. We didn't really have an extra blanket for him, but
That'll be that'll be perfect. Don't worry.
oh, that'd be fantastic of you. Thank you.
course, of course. And I am going to wild shape, using my first wild shape of this session, yay, into a mastiff.
Okay.
So you hear Matilda's bone. It's like she goes back to the kitchen, and like you hear her bones like crack and like manifest in a way as she like goes onto her onto all fours. Her clothes kind of meld into her skin, forming like the fur and stuff. As like where once was a young woman is now a big dog.
Okay.
As she'll sniff the rags.
Have you wild shaped here before?
I have a
Okay.
couple of times. Yes.
Yeah. So
Helped with deliveries.
Helmer, I forgot his name, is over like cooking some chicken bits for a table, and just kind of like looks over at you, shrugs, and goes back to his deal. Jovan, you've been really quiet. You notice that this has all been going on, and you see Matilda go into the back. It's kind of an open kitchen. There is like a doorway. It's not so much a door, and you can hear the transformation happening. Is there anything you'd like to do?
Well, Joven's been sitting there with his 16 passive perception, watching our little rogue sneak away, sort of piecing together what Rooney's doing in somebody's head. And then Matilda wild shapes, and he's got like 3 bites of trout left, and he's been savoring the meal. And he just looks forlornly at the trout and gathers it in just like scoops it with a hand and shoves it in his mouth.
Yeah.
And then he stands up and just puts a hand on Rooney's head.
Nah, that's in your head.
In head voice, Rooney.
I was what?
In head voice.
In head voice.
There you go. That's the right volume. Okay.
Okay.
How drunk are you?
Not really.
Great. Matilda just turned into a dog. So
Dogs are gross. They don't taste good. Not like cats.
I know this. We still owe that person back in the other town. Not the point.
Oh, yeah. I would say I'm sorry, but it was so good.
Also, they're miles away, so it doesn't really matter. But point being, Matilda is now. She's now sniffing something in the kitchen. We should go and at least follow her. And I can talk to her.
I mean, so can I. Hi, Matilda! Say that in your head.
Indoor head? In head voice, Rooney.
Hi, Matilda.
Hi. I'm just trying to sniff out if I can find Mr. Pants' scent.
Just trying to find Mr. Pants. Is that so I can eat him?
No, we're returning him to Gertrude. We do not want an incident like what happened in Prisma Falls.
Oh.
We still owe that poor lady her puppy.
Maybe I could buy Mr. Pants so I can.
He is not for sale. We've been over this since we've been here.
But look at him, he looks so good. A little bit of drool just comes out.
Joven
of
picks
out of
up
their mouth.
Rooney. Just
Thank
physically.
you, Rooney. Thank you, Joven.
Picks up Rooney and walks around the table and walks over to be behind the big mastiff, and he's just holding the kobold in one arm.
A good amount of drool is just like seeping through your fur.
Okay, I'm going to roll with advantage my perception because I'm using my keen sense
Perfect.
feature. So yeah, that's a +3 while I'm in mastiff form. So that is a 14.
Okay. So with your 14, you easily pick up the scent that kind of between the sense of Helmer and Gertrude rubbing their hands on these rags and like some various food things, there's definitely a scent of a cat. You've never really smelled Mr. Pants before, but it's the only cat scent here. And so you're pretty sure that's what it is. And it definitely trails throughout the tavern and the inn, but this is where it's strongest.
Okay.
And there's a back door that it goes out of. It also goes to a couple of the windows and through the front door.
I go out through the back.
Okay. When the tavern is open, which is most of the time, there's a few hours at night when it's not, and they kind of clean up and take their own rest. The door is unlocked, and it just kind of like you push it and it swings. So you push through, go out in the back. There are some pens for some animals. You can hear and smell the pigs that are out there, and there's some sheep. There's the barn where like travelers will leave their horses or whatever animals that they have with them. Gertrude and Helmer themselves don't have like any cows or beasts of burden or any riding animals. But you do scent Mr. Pants and kind of around this whole area and some like older scents that are coming in and some newer scents that are going out, and you kind of like sniff around for the newest one, and you find a fairly fresh trail that leads off towards the north.
I kind of gesture with my dog head that and go north.
Where you want us to go?
Yeah, okay, are you talking in her head again?
Yeah.
Okay, probably a good idea.
Matilda, where you want us to go?
We're going north, Rooney.
We're going north. That's in
Okay.
both of your heads and out loud.
Alright, I can see. Do you want to walk it, or am I carrying you?
I mean, walk.
I have the
Set
best.
Journey down.
Just like toddle. But that's
Yeah.
like their normal walk. Is
Yeah.
A
Please don't
toddle.
climb on me. Please don't climb on me. Please don't climb on me.
Why would I climb on you?
You
Don't
did
climb
that
on the
last
dog.
time.
almost as though he knew. He's like, don't climb on her.
Okay.
Last thing we need is a kobold riding a mastiff running around town.
Mhm.
Wait, are we going into trouble, maybe? Maybe trouble?
Oh, that's fair.
Well, I
He
mean,
pulls his
if
bow
we're
out.
heading- Yeah.
I'll give a little tapsy on like your knee, because that's like the highest point I could reach. And I'm gonna twin cast mage armor. So your base AC is 13 plus your dex, if that's higher than what you already have.
Okay. I do have a tiny bit of a question. If I were to leave Wild Shape, would I still be able to keep track of the trail, memory-wise?
That would be difficult. Like you get an idea it's heading north, but there are a lot of scents of cats, and you're kind of like
then
trying.
I'll just keep my nose to the ground and
Okay.
keep in Wild Shape form. Then, yeah.
And my forehead starts glowing with a little rune.
Okay. Is that your mage armor?
Yeah, no, well, since I used a sorcery point to twin cast it, I have one of my runes is now charged.
I see. Gotcha. Okay. All right. So as the three of you start heading north, You notice that you're heading towards the bridge where Jovan earlier was fishing. You do cross that river, and as you're kind of heading out of the small settlement, we're going to head back over to Welkin. What are you up to over there?
Do I see, like, does it look like the goats were killed in the pen? You know, signs of struggle, bits of blood, and
Absolutely.
sheep?
Yeah, you definitely notice that there are bits of like skull bone and a little bit of brain and some blood.
Drag marks where Tabitha, not Karen, dragged the sheep back to her home, or
Yeah.
okay, so it's
Yeah.
clear she didn't do this.
It does look, as you're looking at it, the strange prints are kind of around where you think the bodies were, and then there's the drag marks. So you definitely think that it probably had something to do with whatever creature killed them, or like, you know, they were killed by a creature, and then Tabitha came out, and you can see her prints around, and then the drag marks from where she took them. So it does not look like she had anything to do with it.
Can I see where the strange tracks originated from, like their direction, how they approached the pen?
You can. You can see in the pen and just outside of the pen, because it's kind of dirt, that they are coming from the north, but then you kind of lose it where they're like going into foliage and like grassy areas and stuff like that. You're not really seeing their prints any longer. What is your passive perception?
Where is it delineated from passive to active?
That is a good question. I can't remember. So what
if
is your...
you're on D&D Beyond?
The D&D Beyond that's been ported into roll 20.
It's just going to be 10 plus whatever your perception bonus is.
Yeah. It's
We're
it
at-
should
we're
be right
sitting at
below
a
your
4.
skills.
We're sitting at a 4.
Okay, so 14. As you are doing this, you hear something shatter from inside the small hut, and maybe a soft cry for help. It was really hard to make out, but you heard something.
He dramatically like rolls so that he like rolls across the yard, and then he can sneak up, so he presses himself up against the outside of the building, and he peeks up over.
Nice. So are you looking in that same spot that you looked in earlier? So you see that Tabitha is laying on the ground. Looks like there's like a crockery that she was getting ready to put, like her, you can see the kettle of soup on, or the pot of soup that's over the fire. You can see the broken crockery that she was getting ready to spoon some soup into, and it's hard to see details, but she seems to kind of be convulsing a little bit. Yeah, that's what you see.
He's still in this building alone.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to make a perception check?
Yeah, let's do that. 11.
You don't see anyone else in there. With your passive, though, you do hear crunching? Maybe like some soft, weird slurping noises.
Can I see anything different if I adjust my view through the window?
Not from the window that you're at, but maybe if you went to a different window.
Okay, so he creeps around until he can find another open window.
Okay. So they all have the shutters, but you can, kind of move them a little bit or whatever. If you're trying to do so quietly, I will need a stealth.
Well,
Okay. And as you are kind of tippy toe up and look through, go ahead and make another perception check for me. Nice.
19.
There we go.
As you push yourself up on your tippy toes and you're looking through, the angle that you're at is much better. And you notice this strange form, almost like a soft pink and gray mass with legs, like a blob, push itself into Tabitha's skull.
Ugh.
How big is this thing?
Mm,
Like fist size, potato sized,
About-
moose?
about yay. And it has legs that come off of it, but the mass itself is about yay.
He legs it back towards town.
Okay. As you kind of like get ready to back away, you see Tabitha's body shudder a little bit, and then you drop and just hoof it. You are about halfway back to town. You run down the path that leads to Tabitha's and go back to the game trail, and you're like running, and then ahead of you, you see, well, I don't know what you see, because did you all light torches to be able to see in the dark, or are you just kind of going by the
No, I didn't
very-
light anything.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I would have lit a torch.
Okay. So, Jovan,
So bright! That's just in everybody's head and out loud.
In head voice room.
It's so bright!
Close enough that he's getting hit with a psychic blast.
you don't hear it psychically, but you do absolutely hear it before you see the torchlight, and you see Jovan carrying the torch and a mastiff snuffling on the ground ahead of Jovan, and Rooney's just kind of stumbling
Doing my normal
haphazardly.
toddle. My toddle. I never walk in a straight line.
Welkin has never been so happy to hear that little creep.
Ah!
All right, so Welkin comes running up.
Something got Tabitha.
What?
What?
Who's
Oh.
Tabitha?
Morph?
Welkin turns to Joven and describes the pink mass that he saw with legs, and it pushed into her skull, and she was twitching on the ground, and something bashed in her sheep's heads.
That don't sound right.
Creature sound familiar at all?
Why don't you do a Arcana check?
Okay.
Ooh, this is a -1 for him.
Oh, it was on
Oh.
a 16 and it went to a 3. I have no idea.
Joven figured out something. I don't know how that happened.
So, Jovan, you have heard tales. This has been a while because it was when you were still in the Feywild. There were creatures that would sometimes find their way into the Feywild from a different plane, that liked to take up residence in people's heads. Animals too, but they really preferred people. And it could be very difficult to distinguish a person from the creature once it like kind of like crawled into their head and was piloting their body around, essentially, unless you had information that the person specifically knew.
Okay. He will go ahead and just kind of close his eyes, hold the torch away from himself a little bit, and just kind of there's a short hum as he uses primeval awareness.
Okay.
So sensing apparitions, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, or undead within 6 miles.
You had to choose one. Do you just get to search all of them all the time?
Whether any of all of those.
But you don't know where they're at, correct?
We'll get location or number.
Okay. As you focus, it feels like lights are turning on around you, even though you can't see them or know really how many there are. You just start feeling that there are many. Does it say that you can tell which kind it is?
Yeah.
Aberrations.
Okay. Right. So, parasite eating brains, smashing in. Well, wait. Welkin were the sheep. What? Wait, were they goats or sheep?
Hell, I don't know. The cloven-hooved animal.
Fair.
They were shoats.
They weren't
Yeah.
fuzzy.
They weren't fuzzy, so they were goats. Were their heads bashed in or were they bashed out? Okay, you're obviously traumatized. Right, probably bashed out as these things tore their way out. Right. Okay. Matilda, if you want to, and you understand me like I'm just like normal talking.
Yeah.
If you want to find a way to be something a little more.
I dropped the wild shape. I only have one more use of it left.
Oh.
Unless some
Then-
sort of.
Yeah,
I
let's
only have
hold
one
off on that then. All right. Well, Welkin,
Unless
we
we
know
take a short rest.
Oh,
Unless we take a little bit of a short rest, then.
Real quick, I just
Well-
want to let Carly know that we couldn't hear her speaking.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I figured it out.
I don't know. We let this thing go too long. These things might multiply.
Only like an hour, maybe. And I mean, that's a short rest.
It's kind of late already.
Then I can hold off. If we need me to wild shape again, I can do it.
Yeah, let's hold it like an ace in the hole.
Oh, I'm holding it. Don't worry.
I mean, you know where they are, though, right? You did your little.
Well, I think the cat can wait.
No,
No.
that's what I meant. I meant you did your little woo, and you said there's a lot of things out here.
Right?
You know where they are.
No.
Oh, you just know there's a lot of things out here.
Right.
Or
But we know one is in
Or was.
in
we
a
know
person.
where one was.
In a person.
Well, we know it's in this Tabitha.
Who's Tabitha?
The old Karen.
Right.
What?
The lady that was yelling at Gertrude.
Right.
Oh.
Okay, don't break yourself.
Right.
Let's just go. Welkin, lead us back to that.
Well, do we know anything about how to fight these things? Because are we gonna kill Tabitha to kill it, or is
Tabitha's
Tabitha already
probably
dead?
dead.
Yeah, I don't know that she's.
You know, I didn't check.
Great, Tabitha's already dead. We don't have to worry about burning her body to a crisp. I understand.
That. All right, let's go.
Yes, Rudy, that is. Yes, yes.
Let's go.
Okay.
I will say,
Welkin
I just
does
got
not
like
care if they burn Tabitha. He does not like her.
fair. I just got a couple of like really weird lag spikes. If I drop out and everything ends, it's because my internet went out or something. Hopefully that will not happen as you head towards the cabin. Are you going stealthily or are you just heading?
Oh yeah, let's
Okay.
do stealth.
Let's do a group stealth
So
check
just
then.
might speak.
So
It's just in their heads now.
Everyone's going to roll a
occasional-
disadvantage because of the kobold.
well, actually,
Just kidding.
everybody's going to.
Nice,
Hey.
Welkin.
Oh no, that's just when I'm alone. Never mind. I was like, I
You
get to
just. I'm
be
very
cool.
loud in your heads, but you just hear a.
Just a panting. Nice.
I am stealthy.
So Matilda, as you're walking along, you
I can
You
seem to
trip?
keep hitting every single branch.
right, and you go to trip, but like Joven catches you, and you stop for a moment and listen. No, it doesn't appear that anyone heard. And up ahead, you see this small, kind of ramshackle hut that has some firelight spilling out from inside. It looks like there's some smoke coming out of the chimney. And there appears to be someone moving around within. You can see the silhouette of them as they pass by the closed, shuttered windows.
Welkin directs
If
everybody
you want
to
it,
where he
we could,
was
like-
standing before.
Okay.
So
I was
like,
like-
how do you look in here?
I was like, but I could bring her out if you wanted, and then we could go whoop-a-cha, whoop-a-cha.
My arrows don't make that sound.
Well, they do in my head.
I will ignore the idea of putting an arrow in your head.
But anyways, I just meant like we could hide around, and then
Right.
I have a spell that I could go like knock on the door, and it opens the door, and we go whoop-a-cha.
Okay. All right. Let's do that.
If you
then.
like that,
Sure.
I could do that.
Okay.
Cool.
So Welkin has pointed out where you can see in, or you can go knock on the door. What would you like to do?
Hmm, I'd like to try to see what Wilkins saw first, just in case. Before we, the old saying of like, don't kick a hornet's nest until you know they're home, that kind of thing.
Oh, I just saw
Oh, wait.
something moving.
Or was it when they're not home? I don't remember now.
I cast Mage Hand.
Okay.
Okay, just hold your hand. That is such a grisly thing.
The hand reaches out and holds yours.
Um,
Because it's visible. It's a visible
Yeah, I
hand.
know,
I don't have
yeah.
any of the I don't have any of the features. But it is a cobalt hand, but it's more like a dragon hand because it's like twice the size of Rudy's hand.
it's so unnerving. Okay, you all stay here. Get yourselves ready. If the bees hit the can, you all jump into action. Okay.
Welkin has drawn all of his weapons at this
okay.
point and is ready.
Okay. I kind of trust you two. He points at Matilda and Welkin. just keep
I
an eye.
mean,
Just keep an eye on Rainier. All right,
We will.
and I
I-
will
fine.
sneak up to where Welkin pointed out.
Go ahead and roll a stealth for me.
11 disadvantage. Ooh, glad I had it because that was a nat 1 on one of those.
Oh, nice. All right, so
So
you
12.
get up to... You get up to the window and you peer through the small triangle of light. Looking in, you see Tabitha moving around. She bends over and picks up some broken shards of like what looks like a crock pot or something, like a small bowl. And just like walks over, looks around and throws it on the fire. And then turns around and looks at the goats and walks over to one and starts to like try and pull its leg off, and that doesn't work. So looks around.
Like with her bare hands.
There's a there's a knife. Picks up the knife and like stabs the goat and starts like carving it up, and then it stops and looks up, and its eyes move around like it's looking for something it heard.
Did I notice it stop and look around? Can we tell that from where we're at?
No, not
stopped
from where the
moving?
three of you are. Only
Okay.
Jovan would have noticed that.
I'm gonna peek in Jovan's head because he's been there for a minute and be like, "Hey, buddy, do you want me to knock?"
You know what? That makes me sick.
What was that?
You know that makes me sick. When you go that deep in my head, don't do that.
Well, you can reply.
That's what I'm replying. Don't do
Do you
that.
want me to knock?
Let me get back first. Oh God, when she goes for that.
Okay, I will give you 5 seconds. 5,
As you back away,
4.
Yeah.
you notice that Tabitha has like kind of carved open bits of it and is like pulling out raw bits and just chewing on them.
Yeah. I got a handle when she stabbed it to cut it open.
All right, and you move away, and
Knock, knock.
this like glowing hand floats forward. He goes dunk, 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 and you're close enough you can hear the footsteps as Tabitha moves towards the door, and there's like a rattle as it appears someone inside is trying to open it, and then you hear like some scraping, and then the door opens and some soft orangish light streams out, and there's like the silhouette of Tabitha standing there.
Can I say what Rudy is gonna do?
Sure.
Rudy pops out, and so it's like 10 feet, within 10 feet of the door, pops out and just gives a scream out loud and in her head, and does their bonus action ability for Draconic Cry,
Okay.
which until the start of my next turn, you and your allies have advantage on attack rolls against enemies that could hear you.
Nice.
And so he just...
So Rooney, you appear, 10 feet in front of Tabitha and you scream, and it's weird because usually when you do this, like there's some kind of like knee-jerk reaction, like they jump and are startled or whatever. It just kind of like is looking out and then looks down at you. And should we roll initiative? I feel like that's an initiative.
I feel like
yeah, that's my bonus action, so there was something else that...
Go ahead and do your other thing while everyone's rolling
yeah.
for initiative.
Oh, I don't know if it clicked me. I didn't click me.
Let me re-roll that so at least just so we
yeah, no, so as part of the cry ends with a stream of fire as I use Dragon's Breath.
Ooh, I'm keeping that initiative. That's a
on,
initiative.
Nice.
On her as well.
Rooney.
Rooney is a lot.
11 and Jovan 16. Perfect.
Oh, that's also a bonus action. Never mind. Not Dragon's Breath. I will just do a Chaos Bolt.
You have to roll to hit that one.
Yes, I do have to roll to hit, but I have advantage.
Go for it.
To hit.
The 20 will absolutely hit.
Cool. Let me roll my... Okay. So, it is either... Yeah, it's got to be fire damage. I could choose between fire and acid.
Okay.
But, yeah.
All right, so
8
this
points of fire damage.
fiery bolt streaks through the night, slams into old Tabitha's body, burns like a good portion of the center of it away. You can see like charred flesh underneath her over robe. And that would bring it to Matilda's turn.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna cast Moonbeam at 2nd level directly on Tabitha.
Okay.
Hello? Nope.
And now it's at the start of her turn, right? That she needs to make the save and take damage.
Well, when they first enter it, and since, they just, since it comes onto them, they entered them, so, they need to make a DC 14.
That's a 3. So, as this light emanates down on Tabitha's body, you see it just disintegrate as the light just burns it away, and on her ashes lands what looks like kind of a strange putrid brain with legs.
Mm.
It also needs to make a save, and will make that save. Save for half, right?
Yeah, save for half. That is 2d10, and that is 6.
Perfect.
6 damage for the.
All right.
For the
anything else on your turn?
Let me look. I didn't actually do the bonus action. You know what? I feel like it's gonna be needed, so I'm just gonna bonus shape. I'm gonna bonus action wild shape.
Okay.
Into a velociraptor.
Okay.
Or you went. Yeah, no, velociraptor. At least then I have multi-attack and pack tactics. So
nice. Anything else? You gonna stay where you are?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay where I am.
Okay. So Jovan, fairly rapidly, the person that was old Tabitha has been disintegrated, and a strange thing that sounds like the thing that you remember from stories, but you're not really sure you ever expected to see one, begins to smoke a little in the radiant light that's pouring down on it. What do you do?
Yeah, we'll see how it likes. We'll send an exploratory arrow at it.
An
Advantage.
exploratory arrow, is that like exploratory surgery? You're not really looking to do damage, you're just like checking to see if there's anything in there?
Oh no, this is I intend to injure.
Oh, okay.
But we'll see how injure it can be. So with advantage.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
17
a
will hit.
17 or a 16.
Excellent. So let's take the...
I'm not sure why it rolled 3 times, but the 17.
And what did you shoot it with?
My longbow.
Excellent. You definitely hit it. The arrow pierces into it, and it's kind of like shooting jello, like it goes... And then it just kind of slowly pops out, and like a bit of ooze comes out with it. You definitely hurt it, but maybe not as much as you were expecting it to.
So, with that arrow, he did include his Dreadful Strike.
Okay.
Which does 1 point of psychic damage.
Whew.
Baby.
I'll only take it once per turn, but that psychic damage was what he was really looking at.
And every little bit counts.
Yeah, so he's like, yeah, damn it. All right, well.
Anything else?
Well, I'm gonna fire another arrow, do what little I can do.
Advantage.
Hit it with Hit it with magic, everybody.
Okay.
18 to hit.
18 will hit.
Does 7 damage.
Okay.
Oh, 1 on my damage die. That's not
All
okay.
right, you all hear this like screeching noise, but it's in your heads, kind of like for a moment you think it's Rooney, but then you realize it's not, as it scurries forward and is going to attack Rooney.
That makes sense.
But I'm assuming an 8 is not going to hit you.
It does not.
I need you to make an intelligence saving throw.
Okay.
Oh, no. That's not a good save for me either.
14. It's
Nice.
not bad, but it's not my best.
Worse.
Kind of. It's weird because you don't really like get probed yourself so much as you probe other people with your mind stuff. This is weird feeling.
Uh-huh.
It's not necessarily bad, but you're not really sure if you like it.
What did you do
It
that
is-
for? That's
it
in their
is-
head.
It is engaged with you as Welkin takes their turn.
So Welkin's going to. I assume that Rooney is right next to. Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah,
this
you
thing is,
also
yeah.
have advantage, so you would have sneak attack for multiple reasons.
All right, here he comes. He's going to stab at this thing
Okay.
with fury because he's freaked out.
Not just kindly, but with fury. Critical. Excellent. So you stab it with your dagger. You kind of like your dagger sinks into it, and as you pull the dagger back out, same kind of thing where it like it's like watching Jello go back together, or any kind of gelatinous material. You hurt it. It's just really hard to tell how much you hurt it. Anything else?
And I smack it with my sock full of ball bearings.
Sure. Well, we could call that an offhand.
Called a happy slapper.
Actually, let me double check something. That crit did not roll your sneak attack. So
No, it didn't.
how many dice do you get
Yeah.
for your sneak attack? Is it 2d6?
3.
3d6?
3.
So you're gonna roll
It's every
6
odd level.
6d6 for your sneak attack damage.
66.
Do it.
All right, we'll give that a shot. 1 second.
Oh, Jer, I should have been on top of this. My longbow's a +1.
Okay. That might
Yeah.
change things. There's one of the d6s. So 6,
You
9,
can just roll
13.
Okay.
Are we at 3 or 4?
You're
That's
at
3.
three.
You get 6. You get 6.
You-
13,
5.
19, 24,
One more.
25.
25.
Um,
Plus 10.
so
35.
as you pull the dagger back out, instead of it like kind of going back shut, it like stays open for a moment, and you all hear this like hideous noise in your head. Again, it sounds like Rooney until you realize Rooney's also shouting in your head. And so
There's 2 of them.
then the kind of brain shape of it just kind of relaxes, and that wound oozes open, and its legs go limp as it dies.
Rogue jumps in for the kill.
Yeah.
Welkin kicks it a little bit. It's right.
See, I told you knock would work.
Yeah, I don't know if the
You
knock
did,
happened.
Rooney.
Matilda
Yeah.
drops the wild shape.
Okay.
Okay.
See? It's all good.
What do you
Right.
do?
Jovi's
I'm gonna poke the thing and see if I can figure anything out about it.
Okay.
that.
Oh, okay. So you're all trying to figure out this thing. It
Welcome
literally
is
looks like
looting.
a
He is
goopy
looting.
brain with kind of feline-like legs. Like you could definitely see where its tracks might resemble a cat, but it's definitely not a cat.
Well,
Like,
this is definitely
Can I
an
eat a
apparition.
piece of it?
Sure.
No.
I
Trevor's
give
gonna
it a
try to
little char.
stop.
I char it up first. I use a
Joe's
little
gonna try to
firebolt
stop
and cook
you.
it.
Doesn't have a whole bunch of taste.
Oh,
Kind
you
of
can't
kind of
believe you're eating
bland.
Nah, they're gross.
Oh,
Not like cats
that's like
at
a
all.
no. It's like that's an apparition. That's monstrosity changed by some ungodly. Never mind. Never mind.
And so I shouldn't eat it.
Right. That's right up there with
Mm.
our. You remember our conversation about garbage?
But it's so yummy. The texture.
Right, but you remember our conversation.
No.
You do. You're lying.
Ah, got ya.
Okay. No. Oh, yeah. All right. Whatever. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of these things. I'm thinking. I sensed a bunch of them.
Should we look for a trail? I just like start like on all fours, like nose to the ground,
Okay.
looking for like a trail that looks like cats but not cats.
Survival check?
Sure. That's real bad. This is 8.
Yeah. As you're going along, like you get a bunch of dust in your nose and you're like
All right. Well.
what do you all do?
Welcome looks away from Rooney, you strange and insane idiot, and is just starting to loot this lady's house. He doesn't know he's doing it.
Vernie! Stop it!
Looting the house. You go in and you kind of start looking around. There is a pot of somewhat decent smelling stew. Probably goat. It definitely looks like there was at least some of the goat butchered before this thing took over her body. You also notice that there are some like bottles, like little vials laying around, a couple of them. And by couple, I mean one, has a reddish, pinkish liquid in it. You also notice that there are some tied up scrolls, like with string. There's scrolls of parchment. You find a sack, like a small pouch. And you remember her carrying this. It has some silver in it. And then you find some like dried jerky in the pantry. Otherwise, things are decorative and not really worth anything.
The silver.
What's that?
Pockets the
We should-
silver.
Okay. There's 30 silver in the pouch.
He'll tell them. Do I recognize what this colorful liquid is?
You've definitely had healing potions that are this color. It is likely a healing potion. Unless it's
All right,
not.
he pockets that too.
Okay. Kind of like peering in the scrolls of parchment, you can tell that there's like writing that looks kind of magical. I don't know how much you know about that kind of thing.
I do have a curio collector thing. I wonder what happens if I do this.
Raven, no, it's not Pepto-Bismol pink. Darker. Lesser restoration potions are Pepto-Bismol pink.
Rooney's gonna sneeze and detect thoughts and start running around trying to find the presences of anybody besides his friends.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't appear that there's anyone else around. You're not
All
getting it.
good.
Claire, what is Matilda
There's
and
nobody else here.
Joven doing?
If I hadn't already wasted the last wild shape for combat, I would have.
Yeah, that
think
crit
would.
annihilated that thing.
Yeah.
It's all because of Rooney's yell, obviously.
Yeah.
It was very upsetting.
So we should. Do you think you can find tracks for these things?
I don't know that there's. Well, here's the problem, as far as I see it. If they're getting into people's heads, tracks will be tracking to just people. So what we need to do, in my thought, is gather everybody up, take them to the inn, figure out who's got a thing in them and who doesn't, and just stay.
I don't.
You're not sure
I
of
don't.
that.
I
No, I'm
don't-
pretty sure.
Yeah.
I
I'm
don't
pretty
know
sure
that it would
Rooney-
find.
I'm pretty sure they would die of starvation if they went into Rooney.
I was gonna say die of sustenance, lack of sustenance, but same
What are
picture.
you talking about? My brain is amazing.
It's delicious.
It's also really small, but it is awesome.
Those are. You've used two words that I would not use, but that's not the point. The point is, if
What are
we
you
get
talking about?
I'm talking about getting everybody who's currently alive into one place, keeping them safe overnight, and when the daylight comes, we can go out and maybe try to find if these things are roaming around.
Well, what if they're the people we gathered and when we leave they just eat everybody?
Well, I didn't say it was a great plan.
Just
But it's
that
the
it was
only
a
place
Okay.
we
plan.
got.
Do you want me to go just knock on people's houses and be like, go to the inn? Go to the inn.
I think Matilda should do that.
Yeah.
Anybody
Okay.
but Rooney.
Anyone but Rooney.
What is that supposed to mean?
And
Rooney,
Matilda,
I
I'm
got a
super friendly and very convincing.
I have a job for you.
What?
I need you to control yourself for the first part.
That doesn't sound like fun.
For the second part, you're going to be at the inn, and as people come into the inn, you give them a little scansy. See if there's a difference between people and people with this thing in them. You
The
find the people.
thing didn't talk back to me, so probably could start with that.
There you go. That's already a great idea. So you're the one who makes sure we don't put the brain thing.
So
in
if
the-
if one of them is a bad thing, do I just fry them?
Yes.
Okay.
But you have to make sure. I'm gonna come down hard on this one. They have to have the thing in their head for you to fry them. If
Okay.
they don't,
What if it's a
they-
cat? Can I just fry
Do
it?
not kill any
Yeah, we don't-
cat.
we don't kill the cat.
But if the cat has a thing in it.
Well, then you'll hate that because it'll ruin the taste of the cat.
I'm not gonna. I mean, it'll ruin the taste of the cat's brain. I don't eat the cat for its brain.
I'm not gonna go further on that one.
Don't.
so Welkin, you did notice that Matilda had asked if you could track if these things could be tracked, and you do remember seeing the tracks that went off to the north. That
Wilkin shows her the tracks and, like, you're druid to these. I don't know what these are. Tabitha was whinging about cats, and then I found these tracks, and I don't think they're cat tracks, though.
Okay, fair. I don't think we need to be doing the whole rally everyone up then. There's tracks right there
Yes.
according to
Oh, there's tracks. I totally missed those.
I didn't even know they were there. All right. Well, I can
Okay.
follow them.
Let's
maybe
go!
we take a bit of a short rest first, though, just so that way, you know,
You gonna be
Uh-huh.
up to snuff?
yeah, we be up to snuff.
I mean, if you want to take a short rest.
Well,
I mean, I know none of
I
us
don't-
need to like really heal up any hit points, but like at least for me to
well, there is some stew in that. I can smell it.
it does smell really good.
We could eat a
And you
little
know what,
bit.
she wouldn't want to and for being despite being a Karen, Tabitha probably wouldn't want us to waste her goat stew.
That's true. I agree.
Okay.
And
I completely ignore the stew and I set the remains of the goat on fire and then start eating the
so there is the
fire
remains of a goat. What's everyone's passive perception?
Oh my.
13.
13. What was Jovin's?
16.
Okay.
16 here as well.
Okay. And Welkin?
And
God,
also
thought
I
that was
am
14?
Wait, 14.
14. Okay.
and do keep in mind I am unable to be surprised.
Right. So as you all turn to go in and enjoy the stew and or dead goat, you do notice the other goat has crept out of the door and looks at you and then bolts away.
Oh,
To the north?
No.
No,
It's not
just kind
getting
of runs
away.
off.
I
It's
know,
not
I said
getting
that
away.
in its head.
Jovin will crack shot it.
Okay. We can hand wave the combat on that one as you realize that the other tracks, like there were multiple tracks, apparently there were more than one of these things, had climbed into the goat and was running off. You easily dispatch the goat, and as this thing climbs out, there's fire and mayhem and screaming and more fire and screaming, and it's dead.
Right.
And then you can enjoy charred goat and goat stew.
And this would be a short rest.
It would be a short rest, and Rooney does decide that the normal goat of the stew and the goat that you were eating don't taste much different. So the brain thing didn't change any of the goat flavor.
Oh, it's stew. I like it when I char it and then eat it.
So after about an hour passes, nothing really, like there's some forest noises that you have kind of come to expect from this area, but no other brain creatures, goats, or people pester you. So take your short rest, and what do you do afterwards?
I say we head north.
I will track this thing.
Okay. Go ahead and do a survival. If you want to all do it, you can either roll a group or somebody can help Joven to do advantage.
I think I'm okay.
We'll say that Welkin's helping because he knows where the trail ends, and that's the only reason he's got any business talking about this.
Sure. All right, so
yeah, I think
Joven,
we're good.
even though the trail goes into like some of the grasses and some of the overgrowth of the forest and everything, it is quite easy for you to keep track of where these two brain creatures had traveled. And as it leads you up the mountain, I just need to check something. I apologize. You do, from where you are, let's see, I'm just moving you on the map. Bloop. As you're heading up the mountain, following this track, it fairly straight line, but they do kind of wend their way through some of the trees and the bushes and such. You do come to a small farmstead, pretty high up on the mountain. You can see the peak every so often through breaks in the trees. The moon is rising above it, almost full. And you hear a hissing and screeching noise coming from the barn.
All right, let's go in quiet like and
Mhm.
try to suss out what's going on.
As you move closer, you notice that there are corpses littered around you.
Oh,
Those of
can I eat those later?
No! Remember, human corpses are a no-go.
well,
Are they human?
unfortunately for this conversation, they're not human. You
Oh,
see,
Yes!
you see several
It was
cats.
a barn!
You see
Oh,
several
no.
cats and several more of those strange brain creatures. Bodies just torn apart, and looks like the brain things have been mashed and clawed, while the cats themselves appear to have been clawed, or like there's liquid draining from their ears and noses. But there is a screeching. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna hate asking this, but is one of them Mr. Pants?
You don't see Mr. Pants.
Oh, thank God! Oh, thank God!
Oh, that's because Mr. Pants is the evil overlord that has the leader brain thingy inside of him. And what's her face was right all along.
Don't try and justify eating Mr. Pants, please.
Why not?
Yeah, you have
I mean,
like
I got a lot of appetizers right here, Mr. Pants.
I
With
don't know that
entree.
we don't have time for snacks.
I didn't say now.
You do hear the sound of screeching and hissing and some kind of kerfuffle going on in the barn.
We have a kerfuffle again.
Oh,
Let's
kerfuffles.
go.
I cast detect thoughts
Okay.
to sense how many beings are inside of the barn.
It seems like there are 3. 2 of them are fairly void of thought. More, their thoughts are more instinct, but you do get flashes of like the need to hunt and inhabit. But you do get another mind that's in there that's thinking fairly clearly, in ways that you're more used to, although still a little weird. Definitely not the humanoid thoughts that you're used to. This is more like kind of thoughts of defending itself and getting away from these creatures to warn the others. And but it's like cohesive thought, not just instinctual.
Mr. Pan.
Is that what you say?
In the creature's brain.
Welkin has been creeping towards the barn to peer in, but not stand directly in front of it. I assume the door isn't like busted off.
It is not busted off, but it is opened. And so you can peer in and you see there isn't any light in there. Are you using torchlight, or are you just kind of hoping that what light that Joven's torch has catches in there?
He's just hoping.
Okay. Make a perception check then.
I'll give it the help action.
Pretty good.
20?
A 20. Yeah, so you look in and you do see that there are 3 figures. 2 of them are definitely the brain-shaped creatures that are appearing to attack a decent size, kind of golden colored cat.
Do I know this cat?
Roll a D whatever and tell me if you get odd or even.
Did they respond to my Mr. Pants?
They will in a moment, yes.
Okay.
What did you get, odd or even?
Odd.
Odd. Yes, you have seen this cat around town before. Tends to kind of linger with Mr. Pants a lot, but you've seen it on its own as well.
And there are two other brain dealies or three brain dealies?
2 other brain dealies that are alive. There are a lot of dead ones too.
Right, Welkin's gonna start sneaking towards one of the brain dealies.
Okay. So while you're sneaking and Rooney's yelling at the cat in there, what are Matilda and
Oh, it is the cat. We never verified. I just said Mr. Pants, and
Well-
nobody replied.
yeah, so a cat is in there. I'll get back to the answer in that for a sec, but what are Joven and Matilda doing?
I'll be back 1 second.
Okay.
I think we should probably head into the barn.
Okay.
I mean, you can. I'm gonna. If you can open the door wide enough, I can see in there. I'll just shoot from here.
All right, so the 2 of you do see Welkin disappear into the door.
There's something in there.
Welkin gestures like it's go time, not I'm going to do something big, but please follow me.
Ah. You saw that, right?
Yeah.
So, Rooney, you go open the door.
And Rooney,
Did I get a response?
Rooney, in your head, you hear, "No, not Mr. Pants. Help me."
Right, Rooney.
Okay. Rudy just starts moving towards the door before when I hear that.
Okay.
All right.
So
I'm just gonna.
we're also going to hand wave this one because the 4 of you and the cat inside will handily dispatch the brain creatures. How does the battle end, Matilda?
If I say I wild shaped, that doesn't that won't expend any of my wild shapes form, right? It's like
I would feel like you probably wouldn't wild shape because you know these things die pretty easily.
Yeah. So okay, then yeah, it's very easy. It ends with like one of them in Rooney's teeth. Like Rooney is.
Well, I tried to bite the cat.
Yeah, no, you tried to bite the cat, but the cat was fast and so and you're trying to play it off. It's like, oh yeah, I was totally aiming for the brain thing. I totally was.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. So
I was going
ends
for
with
the cat.
the golden cat is up on a hayloft at this point, looking down at all of you, staring at Rooney, and says, "Well, thank you for your help."
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
Do we all hear the
Do
cat?
you mind if I
You
eat
do.
your friends?
Yes, I mind if you eat my friends. Feel free to eat the
Okay.
intellect devourers, though.
Wait,
Oh, that's what they're called?
The brain things, yes.
yeah, I'm remembering now.
Ah.
Where are they coming from?
Oh, they're coming through the gate.
What gate?
Oh, I see. Okay, so last full moon, there was a conjunction that opened a gate at the top of the mountain, and when they realized this, they started coming through, and we've been keeping them away from the village, but
Well,
there's
one of
just so many of them, we can't keep them all away.
Who's
one of them
we?
got Tabitha.
Being the other cats.
Right. Okay, so I think we go to this gate and we shut the gate. I think that's what we do.
Well, Mr. Pants tried to do that, but has not returned.
So he's at the gate.
If you...
Welkin just looks over at Matilda like, is this a thing cats do and I don't know about this? Explain this to me, animal person.
It is weird that the cat's talking to you, Matilda. It's not a typical...
And that the cats are what stops the brain guys.
Oh.
It's like, wait,
I
is
mean,
that a
everyone
thing
knew
cats
that.
do? Oh, okay.
No, it's a weird thing.
Outside, and I am currently bagging up a bunch of the cat bodies for a snack.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
The cat, after Rooney leaves, kind of like eyes, watches the door, and when Rooney doesn't come back in, she'll come down, a series of there's like some boxes that she jumps down onto and some hay bales, and she gets down to the bottom. I am Potato. It is good to meet you.
Of course you are.
Potato.
You're
Here's
outside. You can't
okay.
hear me.
I got telepathy, and I'm still got detect thoughts up.
Even though your friend seems rather violently hungry, it is good to see you. We've been unable to stem the flow of the creatures pouring through the gate, and if you do choose to go through the gate to stop them, I hope you will find Mr. Pants and save him.
If there's a Mr. Pants left to save,
True. But if there was any of us to survive, it would be
It's
Mr.
for
Pants.
later.
I think, yeah. Right. Potato, was it? I think if you maybe find a way to figure out how many of them are spread out around here, and that'd be good information to share with other people.
Yes, many of my brethren have fallen, but I am going to search them out and take them down to the village to help protect the people.
Good. All right. All right. Listen up. He he says to the other two, and he's just kind of like in his head, like, Rooney,
Yeah.
Rooney.
Yep. I'm here.
Listen,
Uh-huh.
we're gonna. I think
Mm-hmm.
this
Yeah.
is what we're gonna do.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna go to this portal, this gate,
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
my second one. Probably what lies on the other side is a hellscape of some kind,
Mm-hmm.
and we stop the whatever it is that's keeping the gate open.
I mean, I could dispel magic.
Probably not this magic.
I mean, what do you know?
I entered this world through a gate that was in a oak tree that was over 5,000 years old.
Mm-hmm. Did you
Yes.
try to close it?
And what? It was sentient. It opened it on its own and let me through.
Mm-hmm. Did you
So-
try to kill it?
No,
Then how do you know it can't be closed?
I'm saying these gates are crazy powerful.
Mm-hmm. Have you met me?
There's just so many ways I could answer that. All right. So, are we all in accord?
Yeah,
Well,
portal.
nods
Close it.
sagely.
Got it.
Right. I'm not in the habit of enjoying portals being open. So let's just get rid of this as quick as we can.
Absolutely.
All right. Rooney,
Mm-hmm.
this is in stop picking up cats, and we're gonna get going.
But I only got 2 more.
Nope. Stop.
Kiddo
Stop
looks
it.
at you and says, I wish you luck. And then leaves not through the door where Rooney is and goes completely the other direction from Rooney.
I did not mean for this to become such a thing when I said cats are yummy.
It just happened. I
It
mean,
just
The
happened.
best things of D&D happen.
Right?
Just because.
Yeah.
you had no idea that there were going to be so many cats to feast upon throughout this.
I know. I thought it was just like a one-off reference, and I was like, "Cats are yummy," and now the cats are everywhere. So it's just so weird.
Cats are yummy. Brains not so much. All right.
Dogs are gross.
So, I think what we're going to do is we're going to take our break here, but it is this point where Carly has to go and do like life things or something. So,
Mm-hmm.
Or in life.
I know.
thank you for ruining us. Is there anything that you want to shout out before you leave?
Dagger Art Fridays. Join us.
Absolutely, here on this channel at 8 p.m. because it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And feel free to kill Rooney, and feel free to have a cat kill Rooney.
The cat is going to kill Rudy and then climb into Rooney's head and pilot Rudy around.
Oh no!
I mean, justice.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We will be back in a few minutes. We'll call it 5 and see if we can make it that. Be back soon.
Okay.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you had a good break. Everyone got their stuffs. I almost grabbed more coffee, but then I realized I'll be up for till tomorrow if I drink more, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but yeah. You all are heading towards the top of the mountain, where you've been told is a gate that has opened within the last month that is allowing aberrations from a different plane to pour into this forest that you've heard is full of adventure, and you sure have found it. Rooney is following along, running ahead of you, running off to the side, screeching off into the darkness. What are you all doing?
I guess we're just sort of like keeping the pace, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. My passive ranger ability being in favored terrain means that if we're encountering difficult terrain, everybody in my party ignores it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Not currently a thing, but good to know in case it does happen.
Yeah, just throwing it out there.
As you continue through the forest, things begin to brighten in a way that you're not used to here in Night Forest. And you can see this clearing through the edge of the tree line ahead of you. The moon is enormous, and as you step into the clearing, you see that it is the top of Midnight Mountain, and at the very pinnacle, what looks like a cluster of boulders rests, but in one of the boulders is a magical gateway that appears to swirl with color and energy. What do you do?
Welkin's just gonna sort of stare at it and wait for the people who understand magic to do something.
Okay.
Could I roll an Arcana check to see if I can find a way to disable the portal?
Sure. You probably need to get a little closer just because it is like a ways away, and it's you're not really seeing any details about it, but if you get closer, you can.
Yeah, I was thinking that I was going to be getting closer, yeah.
Okay. Is Joven moving with Matilda?
Yeah, and he's gonna kind of motion like we should stealth our way
What?
up.
On it.
Right. We're being
Welkin
quiet.
stealths as well.
Right. In-head voices. Right. And you hear the crunching of cat bones.
Oh, good.
Ooh, wrong roll, sorry. That was survival.
Not bad. Oh, that was a survival. Not great. Hey, I tied the rogue.
Nice. All right, so the four of you move forward. You're not seeing anything besides the portal itself, and go ahead and roll that Arcana check, Matilda.
Okay.
I will too, on the off chance that I get anything.
You're looking at it, and you're not really even seeing what caused the portal. It looks like these boulders that are just kind of.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh.
Right.
Oh,
I'm rolling an Arcana check now.
Yeah, right. You're like, I'm gonna wait for the people who know magic, and then Matilda gets a 3, and Jovan gets a 0, and you get a 3. Perfect. So yeah, you're all staring at this thing, and it's definitely swirling magic. It appears to be.
Jovan just says, "Well, that's no elder oak."
It's a rock.
I feel like you're right, although with the 0, you could be wrong too. So Rooney's like standing off to the side. I guess I will actually roll for Rooney, just make sure they can't help you out here. Where is Rooney's sheet? Arcana.
Oh.
Through
Better.
a mouthful of fur and bone, you hear, yeah, that's a portal. Probably opened, and it's probably still open. That's what Rooney knows.
Yeah. All right.
So we have to go inside to close it.
You're not seeing anything on this side to close it.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to go through it.
I do want to point out you also don't see Mr. Pants.
We definitely need to go through.
All right. Who wants to go first?
Well, I'm
Not me.
just gonna dispel it.
No, don't!
Well,
We
Don't we-
need to get Mr. Pants back.
don't we want to like stop the brain things?
Yes, but we need to get Mr. Pants back.
Right, so I could eat him.
No, not so you can eat him.
Then why?
Because Gertrude misses him.
Is she gonna eat him?
No!
Gertrude feeds us.
Is she gonna feed us Mr. Pants?
No!
Then I'm not seeing the point here.
Okay. Here's the best explanation I can get through that reptilian skull of yours.
Draconic, right. I'm a dragon. I eat things.
Reptile, right? Okay. You know how the brain things kill you and take over your body,
Right.
right? Mr. Pants wants to stop them from doing that.
Uh-huh.
So if you eat Mr. Pants, then those brain things are free to attack and take over people.
Well, not if I just dispel the portal. Because I can do that.
No, but the ones that are here already, the brain things that are already here. Remember I sensed and there were a bunch of them?
Right?
We've only killed like a handful. There were more than that.
Right.
So we need the cats to hunt them down and kill them.
Fine.
Like maybe after they're done with that, maybe then you can eat them. I don't know.
Deal.
I don't own the cats. I can't
Too
make
late.
that deal.
No takebacks.
Anyway, all right. I guess I'm going through first.
Okay.
This makes sense. I've been through one before. I guess I can go through another one.
What could
That
possibly
elder
go
tree.
wrong?
Well, that elder tree was a nice feller. Wanted to fix me up with his daughter. Not sure I shouldn't have taken that deal. All right. Y'all don't leave me back. Don't leave me there. Like, come in after me. All right.
You notice that Rooney's about to step through.
I think we all just go in together then. Let's go.
All right. Here we go.
Okay, so everyone is stepping through?
In we go.
Okay.
Yep.
So as you step through, there's the weirdest sensation of like almost like you're falling, but like every single cell in your body is falling at separate times, and is then sucked through a very tiny tube and recoalesces on the other side. As you become aware again, as your eyesight readjusts and your lungs begin to breathe the air here, it's a little musty, kind of strange smelling. Joven reminds you of like some of the fungal fields of the Feywild.
Yeah.
You step out onto this kind of grayish soil that has a little bit of give beneath your feet. And there are all of these gigantic mushrooms about you. Various forms that you've never seen before, some with vines, some that are glowing, some that are swaying in a wind that you don't feel.
Okay.
Now, Matilda cannot be surprised. And so, as Matilda recoalesces, she hears a whiny pit bull that's like, I want things. And her dad is like, no, I'm streaming, so you come back over here. Vivi.
I was like, oh no, the dogs have joined in.
Right? Okay. Good girl, you lay down. As you recoalesce, your eyes are readjusting, but it is very obvious that there are other beings here besides yourself. And they are...
What's about y'all? Not yourselves, y'all. Some people are watching.
Oh no! Okay, hang on, sorry. I thought I had these set up. I was mistaken.
Whoa.
Right? I'm terrible at this.
These 4 guys wearing black turtlenecks and their hands and faces painted blue.
Right.
One-man group.
Oh man.
It's probably like the one creature that I didn't set up, because there are just like dozens of creatures in this module that you can run into.
Mm.
My apologies. Yumpin' Yemeni. There we go.
Oh my. Okay, hello.
Yeah, hello there.
2 very large creatures. They look humanoid in shape. They have kind of dusty gray skin and are wielding clubs. It looks like they're on guard, and as you step through, their eyes turn dully towards you. Since you cannot be surprised, let's roll for initiative.
As we're prepping up to fight, Joven would like to attempt to speak in giant.
Okay.
And persuade them not to attack us.
Gotcha.
So, like, in giant, he's just like, we're strangers. We know not where we are. We mean no harm. Where do we find ourselves, kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Not great. They may not care.
And did you roll initiative?
It's a 13. I haven't rolled initiative yet.
Okay, go ahead and roll initiative as well.
Oof. I go first.
Nice.
Nat 20.
All right. So you say that in Giant, and they actually don't respond to you. They just start kind of lumbering towards you. Make a perception check for me.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I'll give you the help action, so
Nice.
it's with advantage.
Oh, I needed it.
Did you roll again?
It has to run. I've got these dice in D&D Beyond that are fire dice.
Oh.
And
So the animation has to do their thing.
They have an animation.
Totally.
I have
Wait,
the deck of many cards.
That was persuasion. Sorry, this is perception. There we go.
The same number. Perfect. All right. So
Same number, yeah.
the group of you together, essentially with that help, notice that there are bits of skull and goop kind of like stuck to their necks. And as they turn their head slightly, you notice there are some small holes dug through their skulls.
They're brain gooped.
Yep. All right. Well,
Jovan,
shit.
what do you do?
He is going to bonus action placing Hunter's Mark. I don't know why it rolled dice. It shouldn't have rolled dice. I was just anyway filling a slot. Anyway, point being, I'm gonna Hunter's Mark this individual.
Yeah.
Bonus action, and then we are going to fire once with a nat 20
Nice.
and fire twice with a 22 to hit. So
Both will both will hit.
okay, so the first strike oh wait, that rolled to hit. I'm sorry, I'm hitting the wrong buttons.
No worries.
Okay, so that's 14 plus a d6. So
Don't forget to
D6.
double roll for the crit.
Totally.
Oh, right. Okay, so that's
So if you just
10
I'm gonna
plus
try something.
17 plus 4 is 11, and then my d4 for the gloom strike, another 1 psychic.
So what was the total?
22
Okay.
on that first one, and then just the regular one. Oh, nice, max on that, and then so that's 14 plus the d6 is a 5, so 19.
19. Wow. Okay.
So just quick succession, Hunter's Mark, quick succession, 2 arrows. I've only managed to do 2 psychic damage on 2 gloom strike. I'm
So-
beside myself with this d4.
As your screaming arrow burrows into it, it does kind of react, like it flinches a little bit and looks down at them and then looks back at you, but obviously it is not the giant feeling the pain. It's no longer itself. Matilda, what do you do?
Okay, let me just see. Run.
And Welkin is up after this.
You know, I am going to I'm going to set. I'm going to put down spike growth right here.
Okay.
So, the area becomes difficult terrain for the duration. When a creature moves into or within the area, it takes 2d4 piercing damage for every 5 feet it travels.
But we get to ignore that, right? Do you have something that lets us ignore that?
No,
I mean,
don't think so.
I don't think we're in forested area anymore, so
Is it
no.
20 feet diameter or radius?
It's a 20-foot diameter, yes.
One,
And I
two, three,
believe
four,
it
five, one,
takes
two.
an initial 2d4, so I will roll that right now. That is 5 damage to this giant right now.
Is that
Does
where you wanted to
it-
put it?
Yes, that is
Okay.
where I wanted to put it.
Perfect.
Does it take damage as it moves through? Too?
Yes, it does. 2d4 for every 5 feet.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Yeah, so even if we could ignore the difficult terrain, it's thorn, so it would rip us apart.
Well, it's more of like jagged crystal.
Oh, nice. Like it. Good flavor.
So these crystals grow up from the ground, some of them piercing into its legs. Again, it just kind of like glances down at it, doesn't cry out or anything. Anything else?
As a bonus action, I think I am going to wild shape into a velociraptor.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
Perfect. Velociraptors are medium, right?
They are tiny beasts
Oh, okay.
on a line. Yep, tiny.
Perfect. All right, that brings us to Welkin.
Welkin is going to remain hidden and hold his action because he can't move through that spike growth, and a stone giant's not gonna. I got sharp pointies. I'm not doing much with that.
Gotcha. Go ahead and roll a stealth check for me. I have a feeling they don't really see you, but we'll just check.
12.
Perfect. Apparently Rooney fell off the tracker here. So right after you, but before the stone giant goes, Rooney is going to say that those things look like they might be delicious if they were burnt, and fire a scorching ray.
Ooh, nice.
Welkin does a silent fist pump because Bernie's effective. And he's just watching.
Only once, though. Only once. Because the other two go wide, but Rooney does manage to hit this one for 10 fire. And then she says, "Do you think I can eat it yet?"
For
And
some
then
reason I want to say yes.
So for every 5 feet, they take how much damage going through the?
2d4.
Okay, go ahead and roll 6d4.
14.
Excellent. And then it has 1, 2 left. And it is going to swing its great club at Matilda.
Mhm.
So the first one is a 24, and the second one is a 26.
They both hit. Velociraptors do not have high AC.
And we'll just do average damage to speed things up. It'll be 19 damage each.
Yeah, I'm out of Velociraptor form.
Okay.
It's just like boink, boink.
Mhm.
And then this one's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and swing at Rooney twice.
Right position.
And I think the second one actually misses. Rooney, Rooney,
It would if she used shield.
Well, and she has
Mage armor,
mage armor up.
which is her AC is 15 with mage armor.
Cool. Yeah, so the second one misses. The first one is going to hit for 19, which is only half. Okay. Joven, these things seem very dangerous. What do you do?
Right.
The one that you all have been like mowing down on is quite injured, just so you know.
Right. Well, we'll fire again. I'll do it one at a time this time. Shot. Oh, it's gonna hit. It's a 28 to hit. This one. And actually, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna move as I'm firing. So. And fire. So yeah, that's a 28 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do 7 damage plus my D4. There we go.
So
4
11.
psychic damage.
Excellent.
And we will fire a second time.
Rinse and repeat.
27 to hit.
Absolutely.
Double ones, really? Well, it's just 7 this time. Oh,
Okay.
no, it's a hunter's mark, so I actually need to roll 2d6 on that, because each time I hit, it
Yeah.
does hunter's mark. So, 7s. So, yeah, in my turn, that's a total of 25 damage.
Okay. And you've moved anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. Matilda.
Awesome. Okay, first of all, just a quick question. Is it like kind of stormy in this little area outside that
It
you're
is-
in?
It is unfortunately not. In fact, as you're looking around, you do notice something weird in the sky, which is open, like you can see above the mushroom forest and everything. There's a large blue object in the sky. Looks like it has like white wisps across it. It looks like a moon would look, but it doesn't look like the moon that you've seen.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no clouds in this sky.
Oh boy. Okay, well that gets rid of one extra d10. But still, you know what? I'm gonna call lightning
Okay.
on this guy right now.
So dex save?
They have to make a dex save, DC 14.
That is an 11.
Nice. So that is going to be... That is going to be 3d10. That'll be 14 lightning damage. That'll be 3d10 for the original, and then 1d10 is the lightning damage.
Gotcha. All right, so a bolt of lightning appears out of nowhere, strikes this thing like a huge blackened mark is left behind, and it's kind of swaying on its feet. One eye is completely like useless. It's just kind of staring off. It appears to be ready to fall, not quite yet though, and you can see maybe some feet that you've become used to seeing on those brain things, kind of like poking out of the hole. Anything else?
That is it.
Okay. So Rooney is going to do something. She's actually going to cast Mind Sliver on this one.
Good idea.
Do. Intelligence save. It will fail.
Yeah.
And therefore take 9 psychic damage. Let me just double check something.
Yeah, it does something else to him, I think.
They have reduced
Purple
ability to do
funnel.
saving throws until the start of Rooney's next turn. And then Welkin, it is your turn.
All right, Welkin's gonna sneak attack the one that's closest to us. Is there spike growth?
Not any longer.
Okay.
But just so you know, actually you're hidden from it, so yeah, that's fine.
All right, he's gonna sneak up and focus fire on the most recently pummeled one. One
Okay.
second.
Oh yeah, that hits.
Do I roll for damage, and how many is that?
It looks like it rolled because you
It rolled
did
for you.
3d6, and yeah, so you did 18 damage. How do you take this thing down?
Nice.
I think he's gonna get dramatic. He's gonna walk up it with his boots of spider walking and scale it and go for the base of its neck.
Okay, not gonna get dramatic. I'm just gonna walk up it.
I think that's dramatic.
No drama. I'm just going to walk sideways
Right.
with some flair.
Stab. Excellent. You go ahead and make a dex save.
And what's the difference between rolling it as a save and just rolling it?
You probably have a higher save than you do just a roll,
Yeah.
because you're a rogue.
Your
Finding it.
saving throws are just next to the stats.
All right, I
Underneath
got it.
proficiency. Yeah.
Dex.
Perfect. As it falls, you just kind of write it down, and you are in a perfect spot to attack the intellect devourer as you fall, if you want to use your offhand ability to do so. It's your bonus action.
Okay, he's gonna bonus action and whack at it with the ball bearings, the happy slapper.
Okay. Ye old happy slapper.
Hold on, let me get that sneak up off there.
Well, it'll just be the. Oh, I see.
The 12. Okay. Yeah, it's still like partially in its skull, and you smash it. You're pretty sure you did some damage to it, but it hasn't like climbed out fully. And I think that's the end of your turn. Does that sound right? Okay. So at the end of your turn, this one actually doesn't even need to move. It lines up and takes a swing at Rooney.
Oh.
Oh no!
Little buddy!
Oh, Rooney.
Wow, the non-crit actually did more damage
Yeah.
than the crit, but that's all right. So that is 51 damage.
Yeah. Jeez.
So the first swing actually takes Rooney down, and then it swings back, not knowing that it, like, not really paying attention, and Rooney is going to land kind of here, unconscious, with 2 failed death saves. And on that note, Joven, what do you do?
Ah, shit. Man. Right. All right. So, bonus action move Hunter's Mark from dead to alive guy. 5, 10, 25, 30. But if I jump, I can get to that one. Okay, he's gonna try something because he can't get around in time to get to Rooney in time, so he's gonna attempt that's 10, a running 10 feet and then a long jump.
Okay.
Leave Rooney to me. I do have healing spirit.
Oh,
I have that health potion that I was gonna put to good use.
I have
But
cure wounds.
Either way, okay.
But catching what Matilda's putting down, he's going to, rather than riskily jump across jagged crystal, flip and double fire at this thing.
Okay.
Uh, 13 hit.
A 13 will not hit. Let me just double check. Nope, it does not.
He rushed his first shot.
Unsure of what to do. The 21
Yep.
will absolutely hit.
He takes a breath and fires. Oh my god. I'm rolling 1 on my D8.
Every
Four,
time.
4 out of the 5 times I've rolled it. So it's It's 7 plus a d6, so 10 plus a d4.
All the ones.
Oh my gosh.
You
My
get rid of the
damn-
fire dice, man. They're cursed.
I'm not. Oh, this is terrible. So 11 on that hit.
Okay.
One of it being psychic.
All right.
But at least it's all magical.
Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah, he's got like 20 feet of movement left. 5. He'll get to there.
Okay.
Try to poke it and draw it to him.
Okay, I'm gonna drop my concentration on my Call of Lightning, and I'm going to cast Healing Spirit at 3rd level.
Okay.
So that's 2d6 to Rooney.
Do you want to roll that? Would you like me to?
I'll roll that.
Okay.
That's 3 HP, but
Perfect. You hear, I didn't eat your cat. And then Rooney sits up and looks around. Anything else?
that is it.
I will say that where you were standing, you know that you've seen that the giant can swing pretty far, but you feel like you're outside of its range.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to move away from it in case it wants to come smoosh somebody.
Yeah, I'm just gonna move this way.
Perfect. All right, so at the end of your turn, Rooney will stand up, sway a bit. Says something about not wanting to be a golf ball, but you're really not sure what that means. You're not sure what a golf is.
I think I heard of that once. Some kind of feathered creature.
And is going to just attempt to hit it with a cantrip. Again, let's do Mind Sliver one more time. So it'll be 6 if it fails this roll.
Ooh, natural 1.
Nice. So actually the no, okay,
Does that
yeah.
do something extra?
It does like sway on its feet and it looks around confusedly. Welkin, what do you do? Renee is gonna move.
Where am I in relation to the things that are going to smush me, and how's it going with the brain?
Perfect. Yeah, so the brain thing is trying to climb out right next to you. The thing that would try to smoosh you is 35 feet away.
I'm going to assume it can't reach that far. Can I sneak attack the thing that's trying to climb out of the skull?
You actually can, because technically Matilda is right next to you. And it.
Alright, on it.
Right. You got an ally close to you.
The 12 just hits.
Is that with advantage?
So being next to someone doesn't grant advantage, but because they're...
Oh, that's right.
Right. But the 19 will take this out. What? How does this look when you stab the brain creature to death?
You're it on the end of his dagger, and then he's just going to kick it.
Okay.
So it flies away.
Pull out, punts it, it flies off. Vaguely like a football, if you knew what a football was. With legs. Anything else?
He turns to look at Rooney to see how she's doing.
Rooney's kind of like staggered off towards these mushrooms. Is actually looking at the mushrooms and licking their lips like,
I know it. How far away are they?
They are now 30 feet away.
I think Welkin's gonna move off the thing and move back towards Matilda and Joven.
Okay, so you're standing right next to Matilda, and Joven's actually about 25
I'm trying to
feet.
draw it away from you
Yeah.
guys.
So if you head towards Joven, you're going to actually be moving towards the giant, or you could stay with Matilda.
I'm gonna stay with Matilda.
Okay. Well, then at the end of your turn, the giant kind of sways, turns, and moves towards Joven and is going to take some swings.
Oh, that natty one though.
So the natural one just digs a hole in the ground in front of you, and then it swings back around.
And I'll hit with that second one.
Okay. Dealing 14 bludgeoning.
Oh, barely a scratch.
Apparently, it is but a scratch. And then it is Joven's turn.
What was that? That's true. I'm not sure why that's in. Something's weird with that. Anyway, right. So that hurt quite a bit.
It's a flesh wound.
That stings. We're gonna go ahead and that's not okay. And we are gonna kind of do a little like one of these and Misty step 20, 30 feet away
Okay.
and pop off a couple more shots.
Perfect.
Natural 20 on that one.
Ooh. Woo.
We will. I'll just roll this one. So that's a 12 plus. Oh, nice. So 21, 3. 23 damage, 2 of it psychic.
Excellent.
And then the second arrow. Oh, a natural 19.
It's so close.
And that will be. Oh, a max. That's a 14 plus. Two, so 16 more damage.
Perfect. Anything else?
Still have movement, so I'm going to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Come get me. Come on. Put a sting in you.
Perfect. All right, so Matilda, you notice that the giant seems to be moving after Joven, is looking away from you. The brain creature, the intellectual devourer that was inside the giant next to you has been shish kebabbed and then punted. What would you like to do?
Yeah. I think, yeah, could, Welkin, do you have any, like, ranged options for attacks?
No, unfortunately, he does not.
I mean, technically, you could throw your daggers.
They have a range of 20 feet.
Well, what I was thinking was,
But then it'll
well,
be gone until you get him.
yeah.
I was thinking, I have my bag of beans. And if I empty the contents on the ground, they explode in a 10-foot radius extending from the beans themselves. Each creature in an area must make a DC 15 dexterity saving throw. I was wondering if maybe if I throw the beans, rip the bag open, the beans drop and they explode, but...
Sure. Yeah, you could do that. No matter where it lands, really. As long as you're not...
In it, yeah.
Right. So I'd probably have you do either an unarmed attack or athletics to throw it. And as long
I'll
as you...
do unarmed.
Okay, as long as you don't roll, a crit fail, you should be fine.
He says.
You
Right.
had to jinx it!
Oh no!
My God.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, so the upside
run my
is
own.
the upside
Oh.
is it is absolutely in the 20-foot radius. The downside is so are you.
Is this thing at our feet?
It's a 10-foot radius.
Oh, a 10-foot. Okay.
Luckily, it's only 5d4 damage. So
Well,
I'll just...
since it's only a 10-foot, I thought it was 20-foot. Sorry. It won't hit either of you.
Okay. Fine.
It just like falls halfway in between, explodes. There's like vines and stuff everywhere, and the giant kind of looks down at it, and then looks back at Joven. Didn't even seem to notice that you were there.
Then as a...
I'll be honest, as a
Boom.
DM, I did not realize that my words had that much power over electronic dice. I gotta watch what I say. Any bonus actions or anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
That's the end of my turn.
All right, then Rooney is going to walk over to this mushroom and pick it. But as their action is going to once again use Mind Spike. Sorry, Mind Sliver is totally what I said. It needs to make a save.
Oh, no.
And it failed. Nice. So it's going to take 4 psychic. You actually notice as the the giant just kind of stops being active. It just like it's almost like watching like a car coast to a stop. And some goop runs out of the hole in its skull. Well, can you notice that a limp, furry foot is kind of dangling? You're pretty sure whatever it is that Rooney was doing has killed the Like Devourer that was driving that there giant.
Where is the limp furry foot dangling?
Sticking out of the hole in the giant skull. Kind of like the one that you just stabbed to death and punted, but on the living giant.
Woken's gonna go over and investigate this furry foot.
Okay. As you walk over and you kind of look up, you can see that the brain itself that the semi-furry foot is attached to has like kind of ruptured and is oozing out of the skull. Inside the skull is just darkness otherwise.
Oh.
And I push the giant over.
Sure, yeah, it takes you a little bit because you are a halfling, but you get some leverage and you manage to topple a giant. It just like collapses. And with that, we will go off of initiative. What do you all do? As Rooney is like, these taste good. I like them.
I start looking for Mr. Pants.
Sure. Do a survival check.
Okay.
I will survival as well.
Welkin's gonna survival to make sure that Rooney's not gonna die from eating those mushrooms.
Yeah, absolutely. Or nature, whichever is higher for you.
Jovin's like rubbing his shoulder. Like, dang. Look.
So between Matilda and Joven, you look around and you see a lot of these giant tracks, as well as a lot of the tracks that you've come to recognize as the Intellect Devourer tracks. There's only one set of tracks that do not match, and it leads away from the gate, off across the landscape. Welkin, you're pretty sure Rooney's not gonna die, but you do notice that their mouth is glowing a little, where there's like bits of the bioluminescent mushroom, and their eyes, after a few minutes, begin to glow just slightly.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, you want some?
No, I'm good. Come on, pack some of those up. Let's go back
It's-
and see what Joven and Matilda are doing.
Are you sure? Because I also have cat.
I'm good for cat, thanks.
Oh, you want a cat?
No.
And as Rooney follows you, talking about cats and mushrooms, what are Joven and Matilda doing?
I think we should follow the tracks.
Yep.
Okay.
Joven did hit himself with a cure wounds.
Okay.
Got 11 back.
Excellent.
Just kind of cracking his neck and his shoulder. Man. Giants suck.
That they do.
So I know we talked about before in the game that this definitely had the chance to go long. Do you all want to... We're going to bypass some of it because there's a lot of things that you can choose to do. But if you're going to follow the tracks, that will actually lead you to Mr. Pants, which is your goal, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So there'll be another encounter. Do you want to do that now? Do you all have time?
I have time.
I kind of don't.
Oh, that's right. You had a hard stop, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well,
Well, then. I guess
You-
this will be a two-parter.
so we'll just kind of storytell this one. As you travel across the landscape, you see many strange things, and you realize over time that that weird blue orb in the sky is the world that you probably live on. And this is the moon that you saw from the gate. Traveling across the surface of the moon, you managed to dodge through various giants that are lurking across the landscape that appear to have been taken over by these intellect devourers, as well as some strange creatures that seem to be leading them. They're humanoid, but yet have strangely shaped faces that every so often you'll see them feasting upon like an animal or something, like with their jaws wrapped around its head. However, you come to a large forest of mushrooms, and it's within that forest that you find a silver cat that has been in talks with some fungus folk that live there. And the fungus folk don't want anything to do with what some Encephalon Gorger, you're not really sure what that is, but they tell you that this creature is apparently trying to make a play for power, not only on the moon here, but on the world below. And it is within their best interest to help you close the gate. So they end up traveling back to the gate with you, and through a ritual that they teach you, really they teach Mr. Pants, but Mr. Pants is like, oh, absolutely, he'll let you help on the other side. Mr. Pants and some other felines that are waiting allow you to help in the ritual on the other side, as the fungus folk on this side, the moon side, are able to close the gate. Now, whether this Encephalon Gorger queen that wants to spread out from where her empire is manages to find a way to open the gate again has yet to be seen. And perhaps we will return in the future should that happen. Thanks all for playing. It was fun.
Thank you.
It was fun.
There was I was
Mr.
like,
Pants was lovingly reunited with Potato and Gertrude.
right?
And Gertrude.
And then Potato mysteriously disappeared. And that night you hear crunch, crunch, crunch coming from
No.
Rumi's room. Oh, anyway,
And then the
enough with,
cats come for Rooney.
right?
And we do not stop them.
Right.
No.
Perfect. As Rooney's screams are carried into the night forest, the cat's vengeance sated. Let's do a round of outros and let us know if there's anything that you have coming up that you want to share. So why don't we start with Wheezy went last, so Wheezy, you start first.
Hi, I'm Wheezy. I can be found on Wanderer's Haven, and I have nothing coming up, and I'm okay with that.
Yay! Awesome. Who you tossing it to?
I'm tossing it to Matilda.
Okay, I'm Joe. I played Matilda. Not much really anything that's happening right now for me, but yeah, still I had a blast.
Nice. I appreciate you coming on the channel again, both of you, and also another returner, Tim. Tell us about yourself.
I'm Tim. You can find me here on Wanderer's Haven. We also wrapped up over on one of my favorite names for a Discord channel, Three Besties and a Guestie.
Nice.
We just wrapped up our first season of Gothwarts, which is Hogwarts with Gothic kids. Role-playing game.
Nice.
I played, my character was a 11-year-old giant of a boy named Mary Shelley. It's premium quality podcasting material.
Excellent. What's the link for that?
I don't have the link.
Okay.
I'll send it to you.
Perfect. Nice.
I didn't realize I'd forgotten like the time sequence because we just finished it this week. It's not out yet. The
Gotcha. Yeah. When it comes
final
out.
episode isn't out yet, but yeah. Anyway, yeah. So been playing on that. Been playing here, and I think that's all I'm doing right now. So good
Excellent.
stuff.
Well, I guess that leaves me. I'm Jeremy. You can also find me here or on socials at WH Pubs. This is like the last weekend thing we're doing for a bit, so make sure to tune in on Monday for some mini making on Hero Forge at 3 p.m. here on the channel, and then Wednesday we have some more for the Horde of the Dragon Queen. Sorry, I'm like Tyranny of Dragons, but no, it's that but flipped. They're playing the Cultists, trying to bring back Tiamat. That is at 2 p.m. Eastern, and then we've got Daggerheart next Friday evening at 8 p.m. as we continue our playtest.
Very cool.
Tons of fun. Definitely looking forward to it. As I know that all of Carly's rooneying today was to pay me back for all of my endeavors on Daggerheart. So tune in to see that. Awesome. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you to Raven for being our Great Worm Patreon supporter. We're gonna raid I always have the hardest time saying this. ADH Adventures. Raid ADH Adventures. Perfect. Thanks again for joining, and we will see you next time. Have a good day, everybody. Buttons.